Welcome to the east side of New York City. Right now, we are at the border of Yorkville, which is a lovely neighborhood known for its German ancestry, and at the border of the Upper East Side, one of the most expensive neighborhoods in all of the world. Today, we're going to meander through the Upper East Side, make our way to Central Park, and maybe catch a glimpse of the Upper West Side. Areas of New York City that, in my opinion, are just absolutely gorgeous. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Let me know where you're watching from. Right now we're starting at 86th Street and 2nd Avenue, right by the 2nd Avenue train, which is on the Q line. And let's walk around. Hello everyone, nice to see you here. Look, imagine living up there. It looks so cool. More and more high-rises are being built in this 2nd Avenue on the Upper East Side that just offer spectacular views I can just only imagine. Excuse me. And then now, welcome Deanna, welcome Daniel, welcome Oleg. Nice to see you here. Welcome Edward. Edward says live streams are still the best. Edward, congrats on the Forbes shout out. That's amazing to hear that. Nice to see you here. Hello, Ray Annette. Hope Mater and Nader are doing well. Hello, Cole. Welcome everyone. So here we have another construction right over here. Look at that. And this area has already been tall for many decades, but I can only imagine it's going to get even taller because we see some even more higher rise buildings down there. David says, you're just living the New York City dream, just able to explore this beautiful city. And you're right. It's important to not take that for granted. I do have the immense privilege and honor and joy and countless other adjectives to be able to live in this city. Many New Yorkers, not many, and not all of them, but there are certainly a portion of New Yorkers that kind of dwell in their jadedness about living in New York City. To them, it's a dirty, crime-ridden, super expensive place. And those are all indeed realities of city living. This applies to many cities around the world, especially New York. But at the same time, what a privilege to be able to explore such a gorgeous city like this. So welcome, Mater. Daniel, nice to see you here. Oh, we got a lot of the old school peeps here, OG Urbanists. I wish there was the ability to make like custom badges on YouTube, because otherwise I would make like a custom badge for the OG Urbanists, people who've been tuning in for years at this point. Hello, Jim Coakley. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Sebastian, good afternoon. Feel free to ask me any questions. No agenda today. If you're new to my live streams, for a good majority of them, I wander around. I wander, meander aimlessly, without agenda, to enjoy the sights, the sounds of the city. I know my history. I know my cities. I know the best things to eat and drink, best cafes in these areas, so you always feel free to ask me anything. But I don't tend to structure my live streams nor plan out a route, because I think one of the beauties of city living or traveling is to wander without any direction, without any agenda, without any plan, because magic happens. It's been very evident in the past few years that I've been doing this. Hello, Ramey. Ramey says, I'm loving the jacket. Ooh, thank you so much, Ramey. I appreciate that. Susie, nice to see you here. Hope you and Gary are doing well. Staying warm in cold Scotland. Hello, Marina. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Raina says, I love your coat. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy my coat. Hello, Sean. Sean says, almost the best bar at the city, which is the Carlo East at Lexington and 85th. Ooh, never been to the Carlo East. That's fascinating. I'll check it out. Ooh, this is a beautiful little townhome. Seems small for such an extravagant entrance. Hey, Farit says, let's eat something. Farit, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was actually going to start this live stream with food. And I went to this amazing bratwurst place. And I was very hyped to go live. It was empty, it was chill, no one was there. And then suddenly, as I'm getting set up, a few people come. And it gets very awkward when there's a place with a lot of people in a small location. So I ate this amazing bratwurst hot dog, and I couldn't go live showing it, but maybe we'll find something else. Oh, poor Papaya King. Let's investigate what happened to Papaya King. Hello, Lorraine. Hey, Ron says, let me do the new ones a favor. Yes, this is a live stream. Yes, this is New York City. Indeed, indeed. Thank you so much, Ron, for alerting the masses. That's an interesting question I always get. Oh, what city is this? I know that could be a fair question in some other places I've covered, but sometimes I'm surprised to hear that here in New York, because I'm like thinking to myself, isn't it obvious? So look at this gorgeous building. They did it like in a neo-Gothic style. And it's just magnificent, this condominium. But unfortunately, Papaya King has closed. This, in my opinion, was the best hot dog in New York City. And now we gotta find another one. Hey, Susie says, do you think your Coke could be any more colorful? Yes, later at night it starts glowing in the dark. Hey, Michelle says, yeah, Ariel live stream. It's 7:15 p.m. here in Cornwall, getting dark. Ron is saying hello to Janice. Janice. Magandang gabi. So this is a sad, sad day, ladies and gentlemen. I talked about this last year. Papaya King did not own, if I'm correct, their location. And they closed down. But wait, we have a development. It says Papaya moved across the street. I don't see it across the street. So Papaya moved across the street at 1535 3rd Avenue. All right, let's see if we can find the new Papaya. Where are you at, Papaya? 1535 3rd Avenue. Huh. Is it here? Alan says, what's the temperature? The temperature is about 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey, Cole says, do you know any buildings that go underground in New York? What's the deepest building? That's an excellent question. I don't know definitively what is the deepest building in New York, though I can tell you that Grand Central Terminal, for example, goes about 10 stories deep. So that should be among the deepest buildings in New York City. 10 stories is significantly deep. I don't think there's that many buildings that could extend beyond that. So I don't see a Papaya King here. 1535. Let's see. Hey, Jay says, oh, long time. Jay, indeed, long time no see. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do not see Papaya King. I'm not sure where they're saying across the street, because they say it's 1535 And all these buildings are in 200s. So if they mean across the street, do they mean like literally way uptown? Chris says, so happy to catch you live. Chris, my pleasure. Seems like someone collapsed, unfortunately. Maybe were hit by a bike. That sucks. All right, let's continue walking around. Jay says, it's a New York winter day. Spring is coming early. It feels like that. Birds are chirping. Flowers are blooming. Angel says, they never did. I tried looking for it as well and couldn't see it. Yeah, I think that sign wasn't quite accurate. There is no Papaya King here. Not me. So Susie says, where are we going? We're going shopping. Actually, you'll be stunned. So we're going to venture over to the Upper East Side area of this island in Manhattan that has a lot more stores that I've seen pop up. That Madison Avenue is becoming more of a shopping area that is a bit more affordable now. Used to be obscenely expensive. Janice says, thank God it's Friday. Indeed, Janice. Hey, Tethron says, New York City, baby. I'm walking it. Yeah, indeed we are. We're walking it. Cash featured the crumbling state of some New York City buildings. Yep, he's featuring that a lot as well. It's a hot topic. Meta says walking Fifth Avenue might be interesting. Yeah, we're going down towards Madison. Let's check it out. Jimmy from Cork, Ireland. Nice to see you here. Welcome, Jimmy. Oh, how I'm missing Ireland. Janice has finally seen a video live. Missed the walks with you guys. Hey, Janice. I'm glad you're enjoying the live video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Julio says, glad to see you streaming New York City again. Hey, Julio, yeah. I miss live streaming. It's been a while. Meta says, I visited Vogue while I was here. Yeah. Jay Curl says, today's first day of Fashion Week. Indeed it is. It's a big time in New York. Are you covering any fashion? So far, no. I only got invited to one event. And I saw videos of this particular event. The music was so blaringly loud. I didn't feel like going to a place where I would lose my hearing. If I do get invited to another event, I may say yes. Hey, Sue says, my daughter's coming to New York next week. Lucky her. Yeah, that's cool. I hope your daughter really enjoys it. I remember when you were at Cork and Blarney Castle. Indeed, Jimmy. Oh, those were the good days. Visiting Ireland, that was amazing. Great month of travel. So now we're approaching Park Avenue. And look at the gorgeous sun shining today. New York City was shrouded in darkness for nearly 2 weeks. It was dark, dark times, but we've gone through it. And now we have sun, blazing sun for the past few days. Tony says, today's National Pizza Day. May need to grab a New York City slice. Today is National Pizza Day. I did not realize. That's very interesting. Yeah, let's see if we can find the pizza. That'll be interesting. Hey, Akironu says, what's the temperature? 52 degrees Fahrenheit, warm, sunny, light jacket weather. It is nice today. Feels like spring. Let's cross over here. Let's go on the side streets. So in Manhattan, there is these double wide streets. We're located at one right now at 86th Street. So the double wide streets are 8th Street is almost double wide, but then it really starts at 14th, 23rd, 34th, 42nd, 57th, and then so on and so forth until you get to 86th and 90th are also double wide streets. 72nd is another one. Nancy says, I don't see stars. Oh no, Nancy. Well, I do still have PayPal, paypal.me/Ariel Vera, if you're enjoying this. JC says, tried to get into the Ralph Lauren show. Their stock is rising. It is, really. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Ralph Lauren clothing. I like their style, but their materials and the quality has gone down significantly. And more higher end brand that they have, double RLs, obscenely expensive, in my opinion. For the same quality you can find for a tenth of the price in the UK, which in my opinion is one of the better menswear countries. So it's a bit tough. So I don't like Ralph Lauren too much, but I'm surprised to hear that they're doing really well. But yeah, the clothing looks nice. It's just they don't use the best materials. They use a lot of polyester where you don't need to. My shirts. Susie says, was that the lotto numbers for tomorrow? Not sure what you're referring to, Susie. Ron, thank you so much for being a moderator today. Hello, Titos. Kalispera from Crete. Hope you're doing well. Posikala, which means are you good? Marianne says, and the word today is discombobulated. Why is that? Whoa, the Park Avenue Synagogue. Look how gorgeous this is. Let's go across the street, get a better look. So here, you really have to take your sweet time walking around. Enjoy the look of the buildings. Robert says, I see scaffolding still up. It's a big issue. New York City has lost scaffolding for years. And the borough president right now is currently trying to change that because it has become an obscene issue. There is scaffolding everywhere and they last for years. There's some scaffolding that's lasted nearly 22 years or so. Since the Bush presidency is the oldest scaffolding in the city. So it's pretty bad. I hope some new legislation makes it so we don't have as much scaffolding unnecessarily. So look at this synagogue, wow. Hey, Warris, nice to see you. Ron says Nightbot is on vacation, I guess. Hey, Ron, thank you so much for letting me know. I did not, have not looked into Nightbot, so I gotta reactivate it maybe. Thank you for alerting me. Natural Pizza Day today. Que tengas un día maravilloso, lleno de bendiciones, dice Angélica. Igualmente, que tenga un buen día. Que Dios te bendiga. Gracias por viendo esta emisión. Thank you so much for watching. It is indeed Pizza Day. Let's see if we can find some good pizza here in New York City. Do you think it'll snow soon? Says Susie. I'm not optimistic for snow. at least this week. But who knows? New York City weather is crazy, so it could change at any time. Bear from the UK. Nice to see you here, Bear. Wow. Beautiful building. Hey, Glenny. What's the best season to visit New York City as a European? Says Titos. Consider downloading my guide. It's a full, comprehensive, in-depth guide to New York City. I think it's currently priced at $20. $20 you'll get full, in-depth tips of the best seasons to visit, best coffee shops to go to, how to dine, how to eat out, typical American customs that you might not be used to as a European, like loud sirens, and best museums, which observation deck to choose from. So it's a really in-depth guide, and I also have a full pizza guide as well in there that you can really get acquainted with the best of pizza in New York City. So go to urbanist.live/guide. You'll find it. If anyone could put the direct link, I would appreciate that. And there you can learn about it. But my short answer for season is summer is where New York City is the most vibrant. People are out and about enjoying their days. Christmas time is very magical because of all the lights, all the events, and it's also really packed. If you want New York City to yourself, come this time of year. So to speak, I mean. If you want a calm New York City, you can chill, this is the great time to visit. Hey, Ron says, this is all AI generated, by the way. Ariel's actually having avocado toast in an undisclosed location. Oh, how technology has gone far. And look how cool the views look as we look down. Oh, I love this view because we're kind of slightly above in the terrain. Zekoslav says, what church was this? This was the Park Avenue Synagogue. Park Avenue Synagogue, where I'm facing the front door right now. Hey, Hassan, nice to see you here. Welcome. Nebu, tuning in on Twitch. Indeed, I'm able to stream from Twitch again, which is nice. Chris, who else is in the house? Says Chris. Gosti. OFF, hello. Wilmy, nice to see you here. So now we're at Madison Avenue. This is the shopping avenue for the Upper East Side. Some great shops you can find here. It's getting better. They're getting more expensive. They used to be very very high end, like really boutique stores that would be very expensive. But now you're finding shops that you would find in Soho. They're a little bit on the, not high end, but like medium high end, I would say. And here we have Scottish cashmere. Look at that. Zekoslav says, I found the church on the map. Hey, getting great exercise walking around. That is the best exercise, truly, here in New York City. You know, I haven't done too many live videos, and I've realized, wow, how much walking was contributing to my overall exercise, just in daily life. And I haven't walked that much, so it has caught up with me. I've realized, oh no, I don't feel as energetic as I used to, because I used to walk all the time. Walking is a very important exercise, and I'm gonna get back into it. Let me know if you want me to do more live video. I've been on a little bit of a crossroads right now. I mean, literally, I'm in the crossroads, but metaphorically as well, because I've been producing these longer documentary series. They're quite intense because I film them like in 2 weeks, but the actual editing takes months. And I just filmed a really in-depth coffee documentary. It took me 2 weeks. I met some of the coolest people in the city. Really got to get in deep into New York City coffee. I met some very influential people as well that change coffee, not just in New York City, but worldwide. And you'll learn about that. However, now that I finished filming, at least the main interviews just yesterday, it's gonna take me now at least 2 or 3 months to edit the thing, because this is gonna be a long documentary. And I'm excited for it, but wow, it's gonna take a while. So I'm now feeling like I've barely been online, and I like being online. I like showing people places constantly. And I've been contemplating, should I go back into live video again and do more of it as I continue editing all these other documentary series that I've been working in. And then I'm going to do a cool trip at some point in the very near future. Stay tuned. But my initial plan was to make a documentary series out of it. But now I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should go back to my roots and just do it live. I can't really do both. It'll be too intense to do both. So let me know, what do you think? I'm going to do a fun trip. I mentioned I'm going to do a road trip, a really cool place in the world. You'll find out where. Initially, I was going to make a vlog series out of it, edited. But now I'm thinking, maybe I should do it live. What do you think?
Yeah.
Zekoslav says, your visit to Greece was amazing. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it truly was amazing. I filmed the documentary series for 2 weeks, but I had the time to go live the rest of the trip. Alma, hey Alma, I'm so happy to see you here. Alma, hope you and your husband are doing well. It was awesome meeting you many years ago. Carol says, definitely we miss your lives. Thomas says, go back to the roots. Susie says, please do a live documentary. That'll be really hard to orchestrate. It could be interesting. It'll be hard to orchestrate. All right, I can continue walking down here, but let's check out the Guggenheim. Uh-oh, kids are coming out of school. Let me go across the block over here. Glenn says they're going to show Times Square. Not today. I'm sticking with Uptown Manhattan. Tracy says, are you in 57th? No, I am further uptown, 89th Street. Your international flavor is special. Roots. Jake says, I love the architecture. Yeah, let me show you more of the architecture. What's the difference between the Upper East Side and Upper West Side? Stefan asks. Upper East Side is more expensive and more rich, wealthy than the Upper West Side. And it is reflected upon the architecture. Aside from more of these ornate co-op buildings, you'll also see mansions, like this one right over here. More of them. Upper West Side still has some of them, but Upper East Side skews more expensive. Upper West Side is still very expensive, but you can say it's more middle high class, as opposed to Upper East Side, which is more high class and uber rich. From high class to uber rich. I think even if you were a high income earner, making like 300, 400K a year, it'll probably still be maybe too expensive to live in the Upper East Side. So here's another synagogue. Look at this. So I mentioned this was a mansion, so it was not a mansion. It's a synagogue. It could have potentially been built originally as a mansion, and I would speculate that in this case it was. Just like this. Most likely it was just a single townhouse back in the day. Blank says, can you do a video about the secret Jewish tunnels? It is a criminal investigation. So Blank is referring to, in the center of Hasidism in the world is, I think, 770 Ocean Avenue, I think is the address. I forgot the exact address. But there's a center for Hasidism in Brooklyn. And a secret sect that had disputes with the main Hasidic elders decided to start building tunnels so they can continue worshiping underneath the main Hasidic center. This was discovered by the police. They found out that was structurally compromising the building. It is illegal to build your own tunnels without permits. It could impair the structural capabilities of nearby buildings as well. And it became a big issue, and there was a riot, in essence, when the police was trying to shut down the tunnels. It'll be very difficult for me at the moment to try to show it to you because it is a criminal investigation, but if I find a way, I'll find a way. Chris says, if you were uber rich, would you buy one? If I were uber rich, I would buy a penthouse in one of these buildings. Like that one. I'll buy that one. Because I want views of the city. I don't want to live low. I don't want to be in a dark townhouse, which is the case with some of these expensive townhouses in Manhattan and in Brooklyn as well. No, I want light and I want views. But I don't want to live in a mega skyscraper because it's kind of terrifying when you think about it. But something like this, 20 stories, 30 stories tall, oh hell yes. Ian says, are we at the Guggenheim? Yes, I'm going to show you the Guggenheim from up front. Hey, Jack Bach says, I did a research project on the Guggenheim and Frank Lloyd Wright. Oh, that's amazing, man. So Tom Almo says, yes, more live. Glennie says, yes, please, live road trip. Carol says, definitely, we missed your live videos. Helen also says live. Janice says live. Chris says Naxos. Go Naxos again. Chris says, I love your lives. Oh my God, we got a lot of people saying yes to lives. Are you sure you guys aren't biased? I mean, you do watch mostly my live videos. Maybe I need a second opinion. But thank you so much, everyone, for commenting. Ariel, there's an affordable loft in Soho for only $6 million. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'll look into it. Ron, thank you so much for letting me know. I'll give it a look. Here is the Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum. Beautiful modern art museum. And when I was a little kid, I associated with this museum, to me, looked like a huge parking garage. And I thought to myself, why would there be a museum that looks like a massive parking garage? Well, I ended up finding out that it was the other way around. Frank Lloyd Wright, the architect who constructed this gorgeous building, designed this beautiful building, he wanted to make a museum with no straight edges and no straight pathways. So it's all kind of a huge spiral. This design ended up becoming so popular, so renowned in the world of architecture, that parking lots all around the US actually started building their parking lots just like this. You'll find one at Queen Center Mall. You'll find a few major examples in other parts of the world. There's one in Bilbao, Spain, that has like a parking lot that looks like this. Hey, Nina says, does New York City sell gelato? Yeah, it does. Yeah, you'll find plenty of gelato. Ooh, we have Bob here. Bob the Pigeon is, and Frank. He's with his friend Frank today. Glad to see Bob still around. I would love to show you the Guggenheim. They're pretty strict with cameras, but maybe one day I can get an inside tour.
Dile pues a Buffalo.
Y Margaret says, gracias Ariel por sacarnos a pasear. Thank you so much for taking us out for a walk. Feliz fin de semana. Happy end of the week. Mi placer sacarte por un paseo. O sea, es un placer dar paseos por la ciudad, aquí en Nueva York y en otras ciudades de Europa. Y un placer haciendo estos videos en vivo. So it's a pleasure making these videos. Who was Solomon R. Guggenheim? You know, I don't know too much about Solomon R. Guggenheim. He was the guy who put in the money to build this. So he was some sort of industrialist, I think. If anyone could let us know who Solomon R. Guggenheim was. But definitely a very, very rich man who paid for this. You need to find a bench, says Ramey. Test that bench. We will find a bench. Hey, I have a memory of buying a SpongeBob popsicle in front of the Guggenheim for my young kids, and it was scary looking. Yeah, the SpongeBob one specifically is scary looking. When I was a little kid, I would buy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles popsicle, and I loved it because the little eyeballs of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were little pieces of hard candy, and I was so in love. Hassan says, sorry for my English. No, Hassan, you don't need to apologize. I appreciate you tuning in. So the Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum, the Guggenheim Museum has an amazing cafe as well inside. And I love these windows that you'll see on the side of the cafe too. Yeah, gorgeous. All right. So you might have heard some growling, and it's not the wolves that are in Central Park. The growling is because people have been telling me it's National Pizza Day, and you know, I normally wouldn't eat pizza. Like, who eats pizza? I don't know who, but everyone's mentioning National Pizza Day, and they're saying you gotta have a pizza, and this is making my stomach growl. Should we cross the great Central Park and make our way to the Upper West Side, which in that neighborhood, there's a lot more pizza options? Why is the smoke coming out? So the smoke is coming out because New York City heating is still powered by steam, and other utilities are still powered by steam. The thing is with steam is all these pipes have leaks. And when they have leaks, you see steam coming out. Sometimes out of the sidewalk, in this case it's coming out of that part of the sewer, not a sewer, like a manhole cover, which probably is one of the pipes down there. And then sometimes the leaks get so bad that they have to put kind of this huge cylinder exhaust in order to allow the steam to come through, because if they don't allow it to come through, it could build up too much pressure, the leak, and explode. And this has happened a few times in New York City history. A few people have died, which is very sad, but yes. Hassan says, awesome jacket. Carol says, let's go get Hawaiian pizza. Ooh, that's a good idea. What a better way to... Okay, I think we're safely away from the music now. But look at this apartment. Look at this staircase at this apartment. Whoa, that's cool. Look at that. That has views of Midtown Manhattan. That's amazing. Gary says a haggis, tatties, and neeps pizza. That would be amazing. A great Scottish pizza. I would love to try one. San says, yesterday I was reading about how to navigate Central Park. Yeah. I'll point it out if we pass by a light post.
Stop, I did a process.
GHK says, the best pizza is at 57th Street, Angelo's Coal Oven. I've never been to Angelo's. They're featured a lot in the intro of the show for the Tonight Show. Usually has Angelo's is right there, right next to the Tonight Show theater. I think it's called the David Letterman Theater. Beautiful church. Here's the Cooper Hewitt Smithsonian Design Museum. You know, I actually never been in here. There's a lot of great museums here in New York City. I haven't even been to a good portion of these museums. I gotta go to more of them. But this used to be a mansion, and hence why it's so gorgeous. I think the mansion belonged to Cooper himself, who was an industrialist, made a lot of money, started the Cooper Union, and I think this was his mansion. Susie says, try those cart hot dogs. Oof. Susie, that's rough. To try a cart hot dog. Dirty water dogs. Not my favorite. I'll save room for the pizza. And they even have a little outdoor area with cafe. Huh. Let's check it out. Oh, this is open now to the public. Oh, wow. This used to be closed. Unless if you had a ticket for the museum. It's nice that they opened up this little garden area. Jay says, no pizzas here. Yeah. We will find pizza. There will be pizza. Wendy says, can you transport me here now? Wendy, I'm still working on my teleportation device that would be proprietary to Urbanist. So stay tuned for the Urbanist pizza. Hey, no filming? Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. All right. All right, unfortunately, security does not like filming. That's the downside sometimes with the U.S. is, oh man, sometimes they're a pain in the ass with filming. Countries like the U.K. are so easy with filming. I found it's so easy to film literally everywhere in the UK. It's a stark difference from New York City. Nina says, are you afraid they'll steal the grass? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure. Sometimes they're afraid that people would steal or scouting to the architectural details of the building in order to find a way to sneak in and steal something. Which has happened a few times in history, but it's pretty rare. Hey, Gillard says he isn't allowed to tell you not to film. He is, because that is not, it's publicly accessible but it's not a public area. That the grounds are still of the museum. The security officers seem to have an issue specifically with the gimbal, which I think I'm not entirely sure why that happens. Oh, says first time I heard no filming after seeing many New York City streams. Oh, Zekoslav is I go into way more places than some of my colleagues. My colleagues do excellent work, but they're not always too adventurous with going into museums or shops or I would never trespass, of course, and never go into private residence or area, but I go into places that, you know, usually would just be normally open to the public or someone who would pay an admission fee. So it's happened to me a few times. Hey, Edward says, to celebrate the friendship between our peoples to the Dutch, would like to offer you afternoon coffee. Oh, thank you so much, Edward, for the super chat. So Edward is leaving a €6 super chat, which now covers the cost of one coffee here in New York. It used to cover the cost of 2 coffees, but we've had a massive inflation here in the US. Cost for food has gone up 30% across the US. Kind of crazy. So I appreciate that super chat. So thank you so much, Edward, for the official gift from the Dutch people to the city of New York and their emissary, which is me, to have a coffee. Thank you so much. I will take you up on that offer. Hey, Talsol says, I absolutely love your jacket. It looks so cool and colorful. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You know, I had many dear fans of this show say, Ariel, you have changed. You used to wear floral shirts all the time. It used to be always bright and colorful. And now you're wearing, you know, more plain, solid colors. What happened, Ariel? What happened? And I hear you, dear fans. I hear you. And I've decided to go once back to the florals. So here it is, my tribute for you. I bought this for you, not for me. I bought this for you. I spent my hard-earned money to give you the pleasure of a good floral shirt. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Wow, so here we're at the Great Reservoir. Susie says the jacket is nice, but I like the preppy look too. Susie, you indeed the main person that told me about the lack of colorful shirts.
For you, it sounds like you also have a lot more friends and like community there.
Hey, Gillard says New York is getting everything they voted for the last decade or so. Ariel, I will be back when you go to the hood or show us real New York, not a quarter of affluent tightwads. Touche, Gilead. Thank you so much for tuning in. No offense taken. I know some people want to see real New York. Today I'm showing fake New York. Chris says, I like the blue worker jacket. Yeah, blue worker jacket is nice. I'm glad you enjoy it. I gotta bring it back. It's hidden in my closet because it's not good for winter wear. Zekoslav says, I see no boats here. I guess they're not allowed. Not in this body of water. They're allowed in the pond, which is further downtown. About a 15-minute walk right now from here. says, and this is why we love Ariel. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Meta says, the Marathon Man, what a classic. Yep, the Marathon Man starts right here. It's the first scene. I think towards the end they have another scene here. So it's a great movie. I saw it randomly one late night, drunkenly wandering the streets of Madrid. And I went into this tiny little theater that was playing the Marathon Man, of all things. Susie says, I can't remember the last time I was in Central Park. It was too long. Yeah. You know, me too. I haven't been in Central Park in ages. Ron says, Ariel, could we check out if that mother and daughter were still in the pond doing circles? That was a very funny moment in the live stream. I should post it as a short video. So Ron is making a reference to a live stream, I think it was last spring or so. And I saw this mom and daughter trying to row a boat, and they just kept rowing in circles. And I thought I was gonna stay there for a minute or 2 minutes, and they'll eventually find a way to get back to rowing normally. But no, it ended up turning into 10 minutes. And I'm there, just with the camera. I decided this is too good to not film. So I stayed there for a whole full 10 minutes, and they kept going in circles. I had to leave. I couldn't stay there any longer, and they were still rowing in circles. I never knew if they got out of the pond. Still to this day, I still don't know. Maybe we'll find them again, still rowing in circles. So let's go and walk around the reservoir. I usually go southbound. Today we're going northbound. Hey, Dav says, have you ever been to a Blue Oyster concert? No. I don't know too much about Blue Oyster Cult. Don't know too much about that band. Are they good? Susie says, haha, I remember that mother and daughter. Firestorm says, that's hilarious. Reggie says, wow, that was crazy. Yeah, it is indeed. All right, everyone, who wants to do some live jogging? Who wants to jog? So we all know jogging is fun. Lots of fun, right? Let me know if you're down for jogging. We will all jog together. Susie says, let's go for a jog like everyone else. Yeah, because jogging is tons of fun. Hey, Susie says, you're walking where Jackie O once jogged. Yeah, she did jog here. Probably many famous people have jogged here. So we know Jackie O. We know Dustin Hoffman due to the filming of Marathon Man. I bet so many other celebrities have jogged here before. Hey, Gary says, count me out for a jog. I'll find a bench and wait till you'll come back. Wilmy says, I'll go for a jog as long as you do all the work. Roberto says, jogging will make us dizzy with the camera movement. Indeed, it will. It's part of the experience. Dav says, come back to Seattle sometime. There's so much more than the Overview Pike Place and Fisherman's Market. But need wheels. I mean, Dav, I gave him my shot. I didn't have a car, but I gave him my shot with walking in Seattle and using public transportation. I did my best, Dav, and I went far and wide, quite literally far and wide. I walked for like 5 hours for one of those live streams and literally found nothing. I was so dismayed. It was one of my longest, most boring streams I've ever made. I'm not sure if people remember that. Let me know if you remember that very, 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 very long Seattle live stream where I just kept walking and found nothing, kept walking and found nothing. Industry, more industry, creepy fences. And at least at the end, I found a big, big, juicy American hamburger. That was worth it. Hey, Elma says, good night from Spain. Buenas noches. Elma, gracias por el super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. €250. Appreciate that. Almo says, I made it funny. I'm glad I did. Ron says, Action Kid also did not make too much content in Seattle. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough city. But the reason I would go back is to visit Mount Rainier, which is a beautiful mountain that we saw from the Seattle Space Needle. Wendy says, I was just here just a month too early. Yeah, maybe things got picked up again. I was still there towards the very tail end of the pandemic. Elma says, is this Central Park? Indeed it is. Carmen, nice to see you here. Hope you're doing well, Carmen. Wow, look at the views. Oh my. Oh my. Beautiful Billionaires Row. We see the spire for the Empire State Building hidden behind one of these buildings. Hassan says, this looks like the same spot featured in season 1 of How to Make It in America. Hey Hassan, I'm so happy you mentioned that. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time, is How to Make It in America. Let me know if anyone has watched it per my recommendation, because I've recommended it so many times, but I think people don't watch it because the premise doesn't sound too deeply interesting. But to me, that show really shows the New York I grew up with. If you want to see the New York of the mid-2000s, that is the show to watch. Especially from like the perspective of New Yorkers who grew up here as well. And it's a cool show because it shows New Yorkers who grew up here hanging out with New Yorkers that come from other parts of the US and the world. And they show both the local spots like Washington Heights, the Bronx, parts of Brooklyn. And they also show the spots that were neighborhoods that a lot of transplants came to, like Bushwick, Soho, Williamsburg, and Greenpoint. And I really love that show deeply. It's a great show. And yes, season 1 had a scene here. I think it was with the guy the rich friend of the two guys, who I think they met up with him here, if I recall correctly. Hassan says it was a great show. It was canceled at season 2. Yeah, it had 2 seasons. It's still worth it. It does end, so it does feel like a full story by the time you finish it. Hassan says, I'm from Turkey, so I never stepped foot here. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that show. That show, I think, does show New York quite accurately. It is literally places and people, the type of people that I've hung out with myself as a New Yorker. So, people have mentioned about how to orient yourself in Central Park. Back in the day, when Central Park was originally open, back in the 1860s, there was no cell phone. There was barely paper maps that would be sold casually. So how do you navigate? Actually, they built a navigation system into the actual lighting post here. So here we can barely see it, but I forgot the exact order. But I think the first two numbers designate the street you're on. So here we see 95. So we're on 95th Street. The third and sometimes the fourth number designate how more east or west you are. So we see 95, and I think that says 8. So the higher the number is the more east you are. The lower the number is the more west you are, if I'm correct. So 95, we're on 95th Street, right here, 95th. And 8, we are more east. And you'll see that in lighting posts all around Central Park. This one's very faded out because they painted over it, but maybe we'll find another one that's not painted over. Ron says his Friends not the most New York show? No. It's not even filmed in New York, barely. Right here. There we go. 9520. So I misread that. That might not have been 8. So I think 0 means we're really east. But 95 definitely, the first two numbers is the street. So 95, it's 95 right here, 95th Street. Hey, Gary says, can you show us the really, really important bolt that was embedded into the schist? The one you were going to take a date to. Oh yeah, of course, I was going to take a date to there. I forgot. Maybe I gotta take another date over there. Gary is referring to one of the bolts that was clamped down into the Manhattan schist in order to designate where the intersections would be located. And you can find those bolts were put in by, what was the guy's name once again? But there was a young guy who made the grid system of New York City, and he himself went to where all the intersections would be located, and sometimes these intersections would be located in private land, sometimes it would be located in rocky areas like Central Park was back then, or located in swamps like parts of the river fronts in either side. And he clamped bolts down to whatever piece of land he could clamp down to and designated all the intersections in New York City in the early 1800s. 1811 was when this project started. The cool thing is, some of the very hard bedrock that's exposed here in certain parts of Central Park, other parts of uptown Manhattan. And you can still find one of those bolts still in Central Park. Most of those bolts were removed or disappeared, but there's still a few remaining. Apparently it's like 3 of them are still remaining, 3 or 4. There's one in Central Park. Me and Action Kid found one in uptown Manhattan, near Harlem area. And then, I'm not sure where the other 2 are located. Hey, Sally says, thank you for the good live streams and documentaries. My pleasure. Sue says, that doesn't work in the ramp. The lighting post, it could come in the clutch. At least you'll know what street you are. But can we go to that bolt? No, the bolt would be much farther away. I never revealed the exact location, though I've showed it in live video. And if you were a discerning viewer, you can figure out where it is. But I'll tell you this, it's much further south. It'll take me about 20 minutes to walk over there. And I'd rather show you pizza in this area of Manhattan. But let's enjoy the views one more time. This is just gorgeous. Look at this. Wow. Hey, Elma says, New York City is going to have a change of weather. Look at those broken clouds. It's indicating that the weather is about to change. Oh no. I was looking forward to pure sun and warmth this upcoming week. Don't tell me that. John Randall Jr., thank you so much. Bear in the Garden and Brett. People know their New York City history. John Randall Jr. is the gentleman who planned the New York City grid system back in 1811. I have an entire video right now, right after this broadcast. Go and watch New York City Grid. I forgot the full title, but search NYC Grid Urbanist. You'll find it on YouTube, and there you'll learn the full history of the grid system and how to navigate the grid system in New York City. And lastly, the weird eccentricities of the grid system. And there's some cool facts there. And I show you like all parts of New York City in that video. So check it out. If one of the moderators could leave a link right now, it'd be so appreciative. But it's a great video if you want to quickly learn the history of the grid system. I think, in my opinion, it's the best one out there on YouTube. There's a few other people, but they usually describe it sitting down in an office with maps. I go to the streets and I go to the observation decks to show it to you physically from above. And videos is showing you the places. I appreciate these YouTube channels that tell you history more in depth, planned, scripted, sitting down. Those are cool. I watch them myself, but I love going out into the streets, going to these places and showing it to you myself. Yeah, Ron, thank you so much. Joe says, Ron, don't jump, things will get better. I'm sure they will. Ron, thank you so much for, Joe, thank you so much for tuning in, don't worry. Hey, Neptunester says, how do we watch your documentaries? YouTube is the best way to watch all my videos. Live, documentary, shorts is the best platform to search them. And then for the documentaries, I have currently a few up. Documentary about Christmas in New York, about fashion in New York City. And those are my two longer documentaries. And then I have shorter videos that explain more other parts of New York, best coffee, best donuts. I have one about the grid system. And then upcoming in March, it's going to be delayed a week, but I will be premiering the Athens Urbanist, which will be a documentary series that goes deep into the culture, the history, and the architecture of Athens, Greece. Stay tuned. It's a crazy story. You'll learn things that you wouldn't have learned by reading a history textbook or going to the main sites. And then later on, April-ish, May, you'll see a documentary about coffee in New York, in depth. And then after that, you'll see a documentary about Edinburgh. Hopefully it won't get muted due to music copyright, because I do use some songs that I got explicit permission to use them, but Facebook is a bit tricky in that area. Susie says, when is the coffee documentary coming out? Probably around April, May. I'm going to do it as fast as I could, but April, May. Sylvia says, what's the temp? 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey, Panji says New York City make a documentary about the Dutch settlement. That one's a bit hard. You know, I prefer to show you things that I can physically show. Unfortunately, there's not many physical remains of Dutch New York, Dutch New Amsterdam. It's a bit of a shame. People have done it, so I do recommend checking out New York by Rick Burns. Probably the best documentary out there so far of New York City history overall. And the first episode is like 3 hours and it covers in depth New Amsterdam. Tao says, this is an amazing view. Yeah, the views are just gorgeous. I am stunned today. Stunned by these views. Hey, Luxury Bucket List, thank you so much for becoming a member. I can't wait for your documentaries. I love your work and your growth. Thank you so much. Ron says Ariel wanted to do a documentary about avocado toast, but he kept eating the avocado toast before filming. Hey Ron, I actually do have an avocado toast video. It's still relevant. I covered 5 places, best avocado toast in Manhattan. At least 3 of them are still open. And I cover the history of avocado toast. And it is related to New York, because avocado toast was popularized partly due to a New York cafe. So check it out. Search avocado toast Urbanist. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who has been a patron on patreon.com/urbanist. That's cool. Little kids are going for a jog. I want to thank everyone who's been a patron all through this time. Also a YouTube member. Thank you so much. It has been a blessing to have many of you guys support the show through times when I do a lot of content and through times I don't do too much content. Even though I'm still doing stuff behind the scenes that you don't see at the moment. But I appreciate everyone being a patron. Patreon.com/urbanist. Getting already bonus videos on the Christmas documentary, full uncut tours. So sometimes you see the Urbanist. And it's becoming a big help for Patreon, especially this time around where I'm pouring a lot of money into making some higher end documentaries for all of you to enjoy, because I do believe in the documentary format. But so that has been an incredible help in funding that, so you can have some great experiences that you can. Hey Joe, thank you so much. I subscribed to you. Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate that. All right. All in different styles, different building materials. This one is a combination of wood and what appears to be wrought iron. This does not appear to be cast iron, so I'm not 100% sure. And they go above what used to be the horse paths. Oh, shit. Here, unfortunately. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Have a good day. All right. Ron watches a lot of other live streamers. Is usually the service this bad up here? Still to this day? I remember bad service here, but I thought by now it would be better. It's been years. Bear in the Garden says, we're back now. Ooh, that's good to hear. Nomades dice, hola, qué una alegría, es una alegría verte. Ojalá todo está bien en Argentina. Las fotos tuyas son preciosas. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you're doing well in Argentina. All the photos are gorgeous. Ronique says the signal is bad. Yeah, let me know if has the signal improved. Is it still looking like a Picasso at your end?
So everybody wanted to come to.
All right, we have reached the Upper West Side. Welcome. We walk across Central Park. Didn't take us too long. I was taking my sweet time. You can walk in maybe 20 minutes. It's not too long. Brett says the signal's good now. Thank you so much. Glad it is. All right, let's find some pizza. Juanita, nice to see you here. Juanita says it's much better now. I'm so glad to hear that. Hey, Owen says, I appreciate the soothing, laid-back walk. I'm glad I can soothe your very soul by doing this walk. Susie says, say hi to my old doctor. Okay. Susie, what's his name? What's his name? Where is he located? We'll say hi. We'll drop in. Maybe go for an appointment ourselves. Do a live doctor's appointment in the middle of the live stream. Wouldn't that be fun? Just like in Belgium, in what was the name of Bruges? In Bruges, I stopped by a pharmacist who apparently a longtime viewer were fans of this pharmacist, and they said, "Hey, drop at this pharmacy," and we literally visited a pharmacy. And the guy gave me medicine for like headaches, which was nice. Hey, nomás dice que te ves increíble, excelente jacket. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for the compliments on the jacket. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I saw the jacket at Bloomingdale's. That's where I bought it. It's from a Danish company, N07. I fell in love immediately. I had to buy it. Gary says, is this old money area? Medium high class, low high class would be the medium high income. Probably be the designation I would give it. I wouldn't say it's old money. Old money is in the Upper East Side. I wouldn't say this is new money either, because Upper West Siders skew on the older end in terms of age. They were maybe new money several decades ago. Oh, Ron says, stay safe with the tiny little, the old ladies with the tiny little dogs. Yes, I do have to watch out. That's why these neighborhoods are very dangerous. Ah, look who we found, ladies and gentlemen. We found Bob's friend, Ziomara. We haven't seen her in a while. Bob's friend, Ziomara, and one of the Bobettes is right over here as well. Ziomara and Bob have been longtime friends. Here's Bob. He's probably on the hunt for pizza as well. Bob, you want to join me? You want to join for the pizza? But Bob, you know, if I invite you, Bob, you can't be inviting all of your friends and family. I already have a bad feeling. Whenever I invite Bob to eat, he just brings everyone. It's a bit rude, to be honest. Truly, truly rude. He'll end up bringing all of his Bobettes. He'll end up bringing Frank as well. Ziomara will join in. I only invited one. And when this happens, I end up inviting 30. This is obscene. Maybe I'll let Bob find his own pizza. Victoria says, your live streams are always entertaining and enjoyable. Hey, I'm so happy to hear that. Joe says, Bob flew the coop after Greece. Yeah. Susie says, when is your documentary about pigeons coming out? I've been tempted to make a documentary about pigeons. A serious look into the history of pigeons across the world. That would actually be fascinating. And especially because there's like pigeon coop. It's usually guys, but a lot of people who have pigeon coops, I think most of them are illegal. So they're guys skirting the law, having pigeon coops. And apparently it's an entire world on its own. These pigeon people know each other. Daisy says, thank you so much for showing the nice parts of the city. I'm glad, Daisy. We had a little bit of complaints earlier in the live stream. People saying that this is not the real New York. That I should show the real New York. Go to the hood, as someone said, quote unquote. I gotta admit, I love this area, and I'm gonna walk it. Alma says, what's the most expensive apartment? I think the most expensive apartment already exceeds $100 million, and I think it's the penthouse of Central Park Tower. So search Central Park Tower on YouTube. Unfortunately, I don't have a video on it. I haven't gained access to it yet, maybe one day. But Ryan Serhant has an amazing video on it. I did get to see that building from the inside. I couldn't film, but I can tell you it was luxury to the maximum. It felt like going to the Palace of Versailles in New York City. It was spectacular. Trenton says, what landmarks are in the Upper West Side? A lot of them. There's a few cool secrets. There's a statue that survived the nuclear bombs at Nagasaki. Yes, quite literally. It's a statue of a samurai monk that's located in like 10 minutes down that way. There is a few beautiful churches. I forgot the names of them right now, but they're gorgeous. I think one or two of them have crypts underneath, and then some of those crypts are used for concerts. There's the Dakota Building, which is unfortunately where John Lennon lived and then later was murdered. Very sad story, but the building itself is really beautiful. It's also the location of the movie Rosemary's Baby. Janet says, ¿En qué parte estamos ahora? Estamos ahora en el Upper West Side. Upper West Side. Daisy says, I would love to see you in Park Slope. I've live streamed from Park Slope many times. You can search my older videos. Park Slope, you know, it is interesting. It's also a bit boring of a neighborhood sometimes to walk around. The blocks are so long, but it is beautiful. So maybe I'll go back one of these days. Trying to make our way to some pizza. I think I know the right place to go. So now we're crossing Amsterdam Avenue and 93rd Street. So feel free to ask any questions that you might have. We're strolling around the Upper West Side in search of pizza. Ooh, I think that might be the building, if I'm correct, that has my name, Ariel East. Janet says, I used to live on 109th Street between Broadway and Amsterdam. Oh, we're close. We're close to your old home. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna need some pizza recommendations. So if you are tuning in right now and you're from this neighborhood, let me know what are the best pizzerias in this area of Upper East Side in the 90s. What is the best pizzeria in the 90s here in the Upper West Side? Veronique says, what's your favorite pizzeria? My number one favorite pizzeria is a good question. I would say right now at the moment is Let Industry, located in Williamsburg, is a great slice. They have specifically a slice called the Parma, and I just am in love with it. It has burrata, it has prosciutto, and it's a great pizza. Another favorite slice of mine is Joe's, just because it's classic. It's located in Greenwich Village. Look at this beautiful condominium. Hey, Guy Tweedy, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoy your travel to New York City. Hope that all went well. Wow, look at this condominium. That's amazing. Beautiful tinted windows, reflective windows, so that means that you can have your blinds open without people ogling at what you're doing inside. Hey, Gary says, are there places you wouldn't go to in New York City under any circumstances? Asking for a friend. Yeah, you know, it is a reality that there are places in the city that are not so comfortable to walk around. And when answering this question, some people could get really pissed off because they think you are commenting on the people who live there or commenting on the economic situation that some people might go through, which is a reality of life. But yes, there are places where it's just uncomfortable to walk in. And some of those areas is like Brownsville, New York. I wouldn't walk there. I wouldn't walk in the far east side of Harlem either, especially later in the day. I would not be comfortable. And Manhattan luckily does not have too many places where it's really uncomfortable walking. It would be just that area, the very, very east side of Harlem. I wouldn't walk in deep Lower East Side either. Deep Alphabet City, also late at night, a bit uncomfortable. And basically those are the only two areas in Manhattan I would not feel so comfortable walking. In Brooklyn, it's like Brownsville. I wouldn't walk too much in East New York. I wouldn't walk in definitely in certain areas of Coney Island. Queens, there's like an area called Ravenswood, which unfortunately has a beautiful waterfront, but it's not the nicest area. There's a lot of police surveillance there for good reason. And areas of the Bronx as well, especially in the southern part of the Bronx. I wouldn't be comfortable walking in. I was going to film these beautiful row of brownstones that are located in the South Bronx. Very historic, one of the best examples of old brownstones. But unfortunately, when I went there, immediately got a bad vibe, immediately. There was a huge group of dudes hanging out in front of a bodega. And yeah, when you see that a crowd of people hanging out in front of a bodega, and you can tell that they're not there just because they're buying food. They're there just because they're hanging. It's not a good sign. So I left immediately, never did a video of that part. Ronique says, of all about Staten Island, I don't know too much about Staten Island. I went one time to the St. George's Ferry area. I did not like it, also. I did not feel unsafe, but I just did not like it. Hey, Alma says, not sure of the jacket with me. I definitely would not wear the jacket if I were to explore those areas. Not this jacket.
I'm gonna see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I would not wear this jacket everywhere. Some clothing brings too much attention, and I'll be discerning as to where I wear it. Adam says, have you been to Dave & Buster's? I have been to Dave & Buster's very few times in my life. I think I've went maybe once or twice. I definitely remember going to one birthday party for a friend of mine. It was a fun time. Yeah. If you miss arcades, that's a good place. But I would say go to Chinatown Fair first. It's the oldest arcade in all of New York City. Okay, I think we're getting close to a very good pizzeria that I actually been meaning to try myself. So let's see if we can find it. We are right now in the 90s. Hey, Jair says, Dutch Moss got followed by 4 guys on bikes in Flushing Meadows the other day. You had to end the stream. Oh no, I'm so sad, so sorry to hear that. Usually Flushing Meadows is pretty chill. That is an exceptional circumstance. That sucks. Jared says every city has its bad parts. It's good to research where you're going. Yes. It is important as a traveler, if you're someone like me who likes to explore, wander around, to be aware where you're walking, to follow your intuition, definitely. But don't be afraid. Just be smart. Do your research, find out the places that you might want to not really explore too liberally, and then stick to the places that are more comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, go to another place. And the cool thing is, here we have Uber, here we have Lyfts. They do tend to be a bit expensive. In Europe, they're not that expensive. So in some cities, you don't need to worry. If you go into a place where you start feeling uncomfortable, take a ride out of there. Go somewhere else nice, and you'll feel better. Hey, Reggie says, you guys are the bomb, all the New York City walker. Hey, man, I'm so happy you enjoy this type of content. I haven't been doing too many New York City walking videos, but I'm glad you enjoyed them. I hope you enjoy my reruns as well. Some people said that they enjoy the older videos I've done, which is great. Okay, so we are getting close to the pizzeria I want to go to. If anyone could do right now a quick Google search, I don't have a second phone with me, for Mama's 2. 2 as in like U2. Mama's 2. If someone can let me know what is the street, the intersection, I'll go there. Rosalba from Tennessee, thank you so much for tuning in. So I have some good news. I may visit a really cool area of the US I've never been to. I might be visiting the South at some point in the near future. So let me know if you want to see a few live streams from some part of the southern US. I'm going there in a cool sponsorship, and you'll find out what that is. I'm partnering up with an interesting foundation, and you'll find out more about that. Do you ever feel uncomfortable overseas? Oh, so for context, I have mostly been to Europe and Mexico City and the Caribbean. So I haven't been to too many places that would be more adventurous. Mexico City, definitely, there was areas that I didn't feel comfortable. Mexico City is a very big city, very hectic city, and the city definitely known for a lot of crime. So I felt very comfortable in certain neighborhoods, but I wouldn't feel too comfortable just strolling around like I do in New York. And then especially after 7 p.m., the city got quiet, very quiet. I did one live stream where I was walking around the city at night, and I remember there's barely anyone walking around. It was very strange. And then in Europe, the only places I really ever felt uncomfortable was Madrid, Spain, and let's see, what was the other one? Area of Naples. I remember got a really bad vibe, and then later on an Italian friend of mine said, oh, it's good that you avoided that area. And luckily, not much other places. Not too much in the UK, not too much in Greece. I felt fairly safe in almost all those areas. Most areas in France, I felt safe. Definitely in the Netherlands and parts of Scandinavia, I felt safe. $105th. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Owen. I appreciate you. Okay, we are close. Hey, Janet, I think is watching behind, but Janet says, yes, do live stream the places we're going. All right, Janet, we'll do. Adam says, Florida is not the power of the South. Yes, I haven't really featured the American South. I've been to Florida, but it's not part of the South. It is in the southern part of the U.S., but it's not part of the South. Susie says, long way to go for pizza. Indeed it is, but you know, Upper East Side sucks for pizza. We were walking there for a good hour. There was no pizza. Yeah, I didn't see one pizza over yet as we were walking. And then Central Park, there's not gonna be pizza. But once I got into the Upper West Side, yes, there's pizza here, but I want to go to one specific pizzeria. So yeah, we're walking. Elma says, I was having dinner and just got back. Is this the Upper East Side? This is the Upper West Side. Upper West Side. Hey, Rosalba says, I'm from Mexico. I miss all your wonderful places and activities you feature in Mexico City. I loved Mexico City. I want to go back. As I mentioned, it is a reality that there's places that are not so comfortable to walk around, but it was an amazing city. The people there are so amazing. So this is the Metro Theater. It's a historic theater, and Alamo Drafthouse was going to open up here. Alamo Drafthouse is one of the best theaters in the U.S. They have theaters in many parts of the U.S. They started in Texas, but they have two major theaters here in New York City. I love them. And they were going to expand to here, but somehow the plans got canceled, and I'm not sure why. And it seems space is available. So should I open up the Urbanist Theater right over here? Let me know. Should there be an Urbanist Theater where you can just walk in, live streams, my documentaries, even my short videos, or screen 24/7. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. Ooh, Naruto ramen. But must focus on the pizza. All right, let's go. Michael says, go Savannah, Georgia, New Orleans. All right, noted. Ooh, cheesy pizza. I wonder if the pizza is actually truly cheesy. This is this is an OG pizza joint. OG. We're going to a place that it's a bit better known for its pizza. You know, in New York, you can't really go wrong with pizza. Just like most foods in New York City, including coffee, pastries, restaurants, cafes, there's a range. We're not like Italy. We're not like France, where generally everything will be pretty damn good. Here we have from the worst of the worst to the best of the best. And that applies to pizza. So yes, there's a chance you will find horrible pizza. And there's a chance you'll find the best pizza of your life. Luckily, we skew a little bit on the pizza's pretty good most places. So don't fear of going to a random pizzeria and having a slice. It won't be mind-blowing, but it'll be a solid slice. Generally, most places in New York City. But there are certain places where they're really known for great, excellent slices. And we're passing by them. We're going to pass one right now. Hey, Gary says, we're looking for Ariel to premiere his Edinburgh documentary, one of the Art Deco cinemas in Edinburgh. That would be so cool. Susie says, I'm not picky when I'm hungry. I'll just get pizza from anywhere. Indeed, Susie. I am. I need pizza for sure. Colin says, I love these walks. Where do the Irish usually hang out in? So New York City has a massive Irish ancestry. So many people have descendants from Ireland that came here mostly in the late 1800s, early 1900s. However, when it comes to recently immigrated or Irish that are living here very recently, most of them hang out in Sunnyside, Queens, and Little Ireland in the Bronx. I visited both, but we really clearly saw the Irish crowd in the Bronx, Little Ireland in the Bronx. Very, very far north part of the Bronx. And you do feel like you are in a smaller town in Ireland due to the amount of pubs and Irish food places and the Irish accents that you hear. Manny says it's Woodlawn. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Little Ireland is a part of that northern Bronx neighborhood. First Storm says, my dad has Irish ancestry. Oh, cool. LA, nice to see you here. Anthony says, thank you for doing this. This is the closest I'll ever get to visit New York City. Hey man, not my pleasure. I'm glad I can show you New York City. I do hope you find a way to come here nonetheless, but I'm glad I can show you New York City. LAB also has 100% Irish ancestry. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge number. I think it's like, the number goes up to 70 million, I think, Irish descendants around the world, which is gigantic. And I think it's above 20 million in the US. Ooh, ice cream, Ben & Jerry's. No, must focus on the pizza. Must focus on the pizza. Cannot be distracted. Alma says you'll need more than one slice of pizza when you get there. That might be the case. I think we're approaching it. G says we desperately need a cinema around the area. Yeah, you do. This area is barely any cinemas, which is a big shame. There should be more. We have an abandoned taxi right over here. I'm not sure what happened. Ooh, bakery and cafe. Oh, maybe I should grab bread. No, pizza. Cannot deny the pizza. It is time to pay tribute to Pizza Day. All right, here we are. Finally, we have reached one of the meccas of pizza in this area of New York City. Let's go.
Number 3.
All right, unfortunately there's some music playing. I'm number 7. So some music is playing, hence I had to mute. That was quick. I ordered quickly. The pizzas look really nice. They look really nice. I'm excited to eat them. So I'll end the live stream here. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate everyone. I'm going to go eat pizza now. I hope you enjoyed this huge adventure from the Upper East Side all the way to the Upper West Side. Wait. You guys wanted to see the pizza? I was going to end it right now, but I think I see a comment. Someone saying, "Show the pizza." You wanted to see me eat? I don't know. Susie's like, "Wait, you must eat in camera." Yes, of course I'm joking around. Yes, of course I'll stay on this live video to show you the food. So let's wait for it, and I'll find a place to sit. Hey, Jared says, thank you so much. It's great to chat with you. Cole says, yeah, we want to see you eat the pizza. Oh my God, Ariel, amazing jacket. Where did you get it? Bloomingdale's from a Danish company, N07. Great company. Well, they don't do too many interesting clothing. This is like their one or two outlandish pieces. Most of their clothing is kind of Scandinavian minimalism. Nick says, cheeky. Jared says, yes, show us the pies. After all that walk, says Reme. That would be very anticlimactic. That just finish it after all that walk. And DA says, no, keep going. I am running out of battery. Oh my God. It's so, the battery life now in the new iPhones is just terrible. I remember having battery for at least a 3-hour live stream and then we'll have to recharge. So I gotta remove my mic. So I gotta connect to power to have a. Cole says, buy 2 power banks. I have the power bank, yeah. All right, I'm hooked on it. Hey, Maureen, nice to see you here. Hey, Cole says the sound isn't that bad without the. Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah. Okay, I'm hooked up to battery life now. Now the challenge. All the seats are taken over here. There's loud music. I gotta find a place to sit down. And that's the biggest challenge in New York City. Is a nice place to sit down and eat. Is sometimes more of a challenge than it should be in New York City. We don't have that many parks with like benches and tables, unfortunately. So let me know what you do usually when you're in this circumstance. Almo says New York City is meant to be heard like this. Yes, you can hear more when it comes to the iPhone mic, because the iPhone mic is stereo, so it captures a wider range of sound. I'm glad some people enjoy more of this expansive sound as opposed to just a lavalier mic. Gary says that's how it's meant to. That's how an electric car feels. You're running out of power when you exactly want to keep on going.
But also one day of like
as I was saying, we're in luck. There's a little park nearby. It's actually a very special park. I've done videos of it before. So there's a very beautiful memorial. And you can sit down. Yeah, I'm excited. Let's have some pizza. All right. Ooh, this pizza's heavy. Oh, I'm so excited. Like the Seinfeld episode with the soup, says Cole. Yeah, no pizza for you. I love Seinfeld. I am currently watching the entire series for a second time. And it's amazing. Truly a great, probably the best sitcom ever made, from what I've seen.
I think what made it sense.
Okay. Hey, Tony Jazz, watching from Malibu. Man, thank you so much for tuning in from Malibu. Huh, you know, that's nice. So this is a memorial to Ida and Isidore Strauss, who were one of the owners of beautiful Macy's. That they were in the Titanic and they passed away in the Titanic. So they passed away in the Titanic, and this woman right over here is Audrey Mudson. And I'll show you her face before I get to eating. So, in honor of two great New Yorkers, if you saw the movie Titanic, it was the elderly couple that died in each other's arms as the ship was being flooded. They passed away on the Titanic, and this is their real life memorial to them. And I think there's no more New York place to eat a good slice of pizza. Okay. Mika says, are we live? Yes, we are. Mika, welcome to the live stream, the most epic live stream there's ever been. All right, I'm gonna show you the pizza. Let's do an unboxing, shall we? All right, I hope you're sitting down. I hope you're sitting down. We got the Florentina, and we have the vodka slice, which Mama's Two's is famous for. This is one of the, this pizzeria is constantly on the top 10 list of pizzas in New York City. And look at these two beautiful slices. They had a lot of slices. I feel I might go back and buy more to take home, but I'm excited for these two. Look at this. Ooh. Oh, that vodka slice looks good. Ooh. I'm so excited. Alright. The box is giant for these two slices. Yeah, I don't think they have smaller boxes, and this is like the box for an entire pie. Sports Trader says I wasn't expecting that. You were expecting triangle slices or less slices? Square slices, I thought triangle slices. Yeah, they only have square slices at this place. Someone's on the other side of the statue speaking. All right, let's try this out. First, the vodka slice. Cheers. Oh. Happy National Pizza Day. So crunchy. It's a square slice, but it's not your typical Sicilian slice, which could be very bready. This is still Sicilian, but luckily it's more fluffy than bready. Sicilian sometimes can be too overwhelmingly filling. The sauce is amazing. The crunch is amazing. very crusty. Great vodka, not spicy. The vodka could use just a little bit of a kick, I think. I think it could use a little bit of like black pepper or some red chili pepper. But otherwise, great cheese that they use. I love the basil. Wow, that's good. Great solid slice. Great cheese too. It's not your typical industrial mozzarella cheese. Here you have some fresh mozzarella. I think this is fresh mozzarella. Doesn't taste like pecorino to me. And you have what appears to be some ricotta, I think. Really great. What's the name of the pizzeria? Have you named? Are you the name? Sorry, Lorraine says. Have you named the pizza restaurant? Lorraine says this is Mama's Two's. Mama's Two. Mama's Two. TOO 2. And look at this. Let's try this out. I'm not the biggest fan of white slices. The only white slice I really enjoy is Best Pizza's white slice in Williamsburg. They're great because they have some caramelized onions on it. This white slice, I love it because it's not overly creamy, which some white slices can be. And I love that it has a bunch of spinach. They did not skimp out on the spinach. And I am personally a huge fan of spinach, so this is exciting for me. With some ricotta as well. Nice, fluffy, great solid slice. I'm deeply impressed by these guys. Definitely 2 slices will be very filling because it's still a very thick slice of pizza. I would go for the vodka first. That was great. Almost says basically basically healthy guilt pizza. Good undercarriage, yeah, very good undercarriage. You can tell the crust is delicious. The crust is delicious. Let's pretend you're sitting at a table, everyone's watching, waiting for you to have slices. Adam, in essence, everyone is. Yeah. Arvis says, "What's the brand?" The brand is N07. Wow. Paul says we need Dr. Pepper. Firestorm says I need a napkin. I do need a napkin. Unfortunately, I didn't grab any. He didn't have any napkin dispenser. And I was going to ask for one, but they didn't have one. Oh, this really speaks loud. you speak so loud. Hey, Veronique says, in the neighborhood. Yeah. Thank you for covering Tesla in your YouTube vlog. Hey, my pleasure, man. I'm glad you enjoyed my New York City Tesla video. Is this the best one? This is not my top pizza. I would put it in the top 10 for sure. I would put this in the top 10 of pizzas I've had in New York City. It's kind of a little bit Detroit style because of the cheese overflowing to the crust. So it's not a strict New York slice, nor a strict Sicilian. More Detroit, but I do appreciate it. And it's a great slice, great ingredients. They just cooked everything perfectly. Great cheese, great sauce. I would say the only thing that's missing on this vodka is just a bit of a kick. This vodka is a bit too light. It could use a little bit of black pepper or chili pepper, but you can add that yourself. I'm curious about their spicy slice. They had a spicy pepperoni slice. And how much was this? This cost me $17 in total. So like $8 per slice, $7 per slice, most likely, and this is about $3. Yeah. So about $7 per slice. Yeah. Prices in New York have gotten crazy. It's tough. New York, buying food nowadays in New York City, it's becoming quite a hindrance. It's very expensive. Lucy says, I miss your lives. Oh, Lucy, I'm glad I could come back. Firestorm says, well, that's expensive, yeah. Yeah, it's becoming more of the norm. I think for a solid sliced pizza, right now the norm is about minimum $6. Really. Yeah. It's hard to find something less than that. That's excellent. Your run-of-the-mill pizza is already starting to cost about $4. And then of course you still have some $1.50 slices, no longer $1 slices. So now the cheapest pizzas you can find is $1.50. Most of them are not too good. Two Bros I think is still the only good $1.50 slice. And they're located in a few locations, but I would go to the one in Garment District or the one in East Village. Meta says, I can still get a slice here for $3.50. Meta, remind me where you're located. What area? Mr. Manica says, it's good to see you back. Hey, I'm so glad. Barbara says, I am here in Boca Raton and my mouth is watering. I'm glad it is. Have you ever been to Famous Ray's? I've been when I was little. I went once. I was really disappointed. I went to one of them. There's a lot of original Rays or Famous Rays all around the city. Most of them are they're not good. I don't think there's a good Ray's pizza out there. Almost says, are you tempted to go live once a week? Yeah, I'm tempted to do more live video. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna finish this slices I have left. Feel free to ask me any questions about pizza. This is our final stop for today. I'm gonna show you some cool stuff. I'll be showing you some cool live videos from other places, not just New York, so stay tuned. I'm coming back, and then you're gonna see a documentary series first week of March 8th, I think is the first Thursday of March. Yeah, March 8th should be the first Thursday, or March 7th. Stay tuned, you'll be seeing the premiere of the Athens Urbanist. I just had a hamburger melted cheese with white onions and mayo. Ooh, that sounds good. I want to thank Edward, and there was one other super chatter. Remind me who it was again. that contributed today for this pizza. Thank you. Tilly Jazz says, Amori. I'm already getting full. This was filling. This was truly filling, but I want more spinach. The Tombster says, which pizza is better? Out of these two, I prefer the vodka. I've always been a red pizza kind of guy. There's two people in this world. Red pizzas and white pizzas. I'm more of a red pizza. I can't really get aboard most white pizzas. They're bland. They're a bit boring. They don't know how to dance. I mean, they don't have that much spices. So I can't really get behind too many white pizzas. What do you prefer, red or white? Glad your doc is coming out soon. Yeah. Elizabeth is a red pizza. Susie's a red pizza as well. Yeah, red pizza to me it's just a classic pizza. It's hard to make a white pizza as flavorful. Even this is almost like just pure cheese and bread. I feel like more I'm eating like a panini. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
I like that.
Yeah. Doing a video.
Happy holiday.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Take some for Sunday's game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna go get my chicken wings.
Oh, go for it. Yeah. Have a great day. It was an elderly man saying have a good meal and save some space for food on football Sunday. On a wheelchair, going high speed. That guy was going fast. Susie says, I like my red pizza and industrial cheese. The world is made out of colors, Susie. The world is made out of colors. Spinach. Ooh. That's filling. I'm very full. Doreen says, how would you rate it? This pizza is pretty damn good. It would make my top 10 pizzas now that I had it. Yeah. It's not my top 5. If I were to tell you a rough estimate, this would probably be my now top 9 pizza in New York City. It's that good. It's that good. It's truly exceptional slice. Someone said a cheese slice is the best way to determine the quality of a pizzeria. Indeed it is. Here they didn't have one. But I think the vodka slice is the closest to telling the quality of the pizza. But you're right. If you're trying to judge the quality of a pizzeria, have a basic not white slice. Have a basic slice, cheese slice, and you can really tell. Teresa says, I love your jacket. Camilla says, do you think it's worth going to Staten Island for Italian American restaurant? Excuse me, my opinion, no. Staten Island is a bit far away, and to me it's not really a destination. I would recommend for Italian American food, since you're going to be in Times Square anyway, go to either Carmine's if you have a big family with you, a big group of friends. Say it's more than 5 people. 5 or more people, go to Carmine's. It's a big touristy restaurant, but it's worth it. You'll get the Italian-American experience. If you're not American, if you're not familiar with Italian-American cuisine, this is a great first time or a great way to experience kind of Italian-Americanness. Is Carmine's in Times Square. If you're with a smaller group of people, or you're on a date or a significant other, go to Becco's. Becco's, in my opinion, is the best Italian-American food in the main Times Square area as well. It's located in the theater district. Have you tried Joe and Pat's? No, I've never been to Joe and Pat's in Staten Island at all. It's your opinion. Well, where have you had the best pizza, Italy or New York? The place I would have more pizza more frequently is Italy, for sure. My favorite pizza in the world, I am a New Yorker, but if you see my Rome live videos, it's very clear that I truly light up when it comes to Roman pizza. I truly light up with Roman pizza. There's nothing quite like it, in my opinion. I deeply, deeply love Roman pizza. So that's my favorite type of pizza. But I would eat pizza more often in Italy, especially when it comes to Neapolitan, Napoli-style pizza, the very thin slice, the very thin personal pie. It doesn't fill you up too much. Like right now, I'm feeling a bit like full. I'm feeling very full and not so energetic. It kind of, your blood sugar goes down when you're having a New York slice, and it's due to the factors of the flour, the density of the breading, the cheese, everything just and they use sugar in most pizzas are made with some type of sugar in the flour and in the sauce. So generally a New York style and most American styles are going to make you feel sluggish after eating them. It's great. It has its place. That's why nothing beats a great slice of pizza after a night of drinking or roaming around New York City all summer day, and then ending the evening with a good slice of pizza. Definitely, it's the best. But it's something I would not eat every day. I can't eat pizza every day. I used to as a little kid. It wasn't the best idea. But if I were in Italy, I feel like I could eat a pizza every day due to how thin it is. And then Roman style, it's a bit more bready, but what I love about it is the toppings. And then you can have basically any size of slice you want. So you can have something very small and thin in Rome if you wanted to. Unlike here in New York where the slices are already pre-cut or they're already set, standard size. Gary says, now then it's time for a serious walk. Stay tuned, I'll be walking around more soon. Excuse me. Camilla says also carbonara. Oh yeah, carbonara is amazing. Glad you didn't say Olive Garden. I was about to change the channel since it's here. Yeah, Olive Garden. No, Olive Garden. There's the novelty of going to a very stereotypical Italian-American restaurant that has really no connection to Italian-American culture in the genuine sense. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. But Carmine's, in my opinion, does the best, and Becco's is a great second choice. Becco's actually, I would recommend it over Carmine's, but Carmine's is special because you could go with the big group of people. Is there any good pizza in Little Italy? That's a great question. Great question, NW. My opinion, the best pizza in Little Italy is a place called Monero's. I featured it many times in my live streams. Maybe like 4 or 5 times I've shown it in the live stream. I've stopped there and ate. Monero's. It's a reference to Saturday Night Fever. Great pizzeria, highly recommended. Great classic triangular slices. That is in my top 10 pizzas, now thinking about it also. And then in Little Italy, also go to Lombardi's. In my opinion, that's the best pizza restaurant just due to the history of the pizza. Can you show us Tom's from Seinfeld? We are close to Tom's, right? We're not that far. don't think we're far from Tom's. I'm not going to eat more, but I need to burn off this pizza. So yeah, let me know if you want to have one last stop on this live stream and see the outside of the Seinfeld Diner, Tom's. Hey, Ron says, be honest, you miss masticating on camera in front of thousands of people. It is, you know, it is an issue, you know. Mastication is not a light thing. And you do have to be careful who you do it in front of. But yeah, mastication on live video is so much fun. Mastication for sure. Not what Drake did. No. We're not talking about what Drake has done. How Drake has traumatized the masses. Yes, please. Susie says, I need to go home. Who makes the best dough and crust, says Tony. Best dough in New York City. If I were to choose right now off the top of my head, I would say Juliana's. Juliana's in Dumbo, right by the Brooklyn Bridge. Another classic pizzeria, also my top 10 pizzas. Juliana's, in my opinion, I think has some of the best dough. All right, let's go. Oh, so full. Oh my God. You know, you ever had that feeling of like regret? It's great pizza, but I still feel that regret. Let me know if you ever felt that. I don't feel that too often, luckily. But sometimes, you know, with these heavier food items, pizza, burgers, sometimes hot dogs, they're great, but you feel regret. Moussaka in Greece, or like a very greasy sausage roll. They're amazing foods. But you get that sense of regret after that. Let me know if you felt that. Susie says, I feel regret when eating cake. Cake is another one that can cause that feeling. It's like you enjoyed it. Like you don't, like you enjoyed it. Like it's not that you did not enjoy it, but you still feel that regret. It's an odd feeling. Antonio says, I want to see the outside of Seinfeld. Yeah, you will. You will. Antonio, we're close. I have a short video on it that shows the inside. Hey, VX Girl says, have you been to Via Carota? I have been to Via Carota. I actually have a short video on it. It's on TikTok. I don't think I've ever posted it on the other channels. But Via Carota is great. I love them. But I just have a really tough time justifying paying $37 for a pasta carbonara. Because I can make it at home. And like, we'll spend maybe maximum $8, $9, $10 to make a good pasta carbonara. So it's hard to go to a restaurant like that and pay those obscene prices, in my opinion. Hey, Daryl says this is Joe and Ann's cafe. Oh, Joe and Ann's neighborhood. Oh, I'm so glad that they come here often. They live stream here in New York City. So here's one of the better bagel shops in New York City. Absolute Bagels. Also have been here, shown it on live video. Great bagels if you are looking to eat bagels before you eat your pizza. And then you finish off dessert at a diner, eating more food at the diner. Hey, Picard, nice to see you here. Thank you so much for tuning in on Twitch. It's a cool old car. Wow, old style Jaguar. Look at that. Ooh, I want one. So this area is gorgeous. If we walk only 2 blocks down, we'll see Riverside Drive, which is a nice area of New York City. But we are on a mission to find the diner from Seinfeld, one of the best shows ever made. I'll be going back home and seeing some more episodes of Seinfeld. Maybe get myself a good bubble tea. Ron says that was a Jaguar XJ6. Yeah, gorgeous car. Ooh, that was amazing. That's a car I would get. Jared says it's a classic. Yeah. And ABX Girl says, have you been to Carbone? I have not been to Carbone, but I have had food at Parm. Also did a video about Parm and had their spicy vodka rigatoni. And Parm has the same recipe and the same executive chef, I think, of Carbone. So I basically had Carbone without paying Carbone prices. Barbara, right now we're at Cathedral Parkway at 110th and Broadway. Like B says, is Seinfeld better than I Love Lucy? I would say yes. I Love Lucy is a classic, but I would say Seinfeld beats every other sitcom ever made. It's just so, like, for 9 seasons, it ran long, and every episode I think is a gem. I am rewatching the entire series, and I think I've only skipped 1 episode thus far, and I'm up to season 7. Even after the second time watching it, I do not find the episode dull in Seinfeld. That's not the case with Friends. Friends, I find a bunch of episodes boring. Some of them are excellent and legendary. How I Met Your Mother as well. Ooh, fruit. Exactly what I needed. You know, one of my favorite sitcoms also is The IT Crowd. The best, also one of the better sitcoms ever made, I think. But that only ran for 2 seasons. So if you were to compare apples to apples, Seinfeld wins just because it ran for so long, and basically every episode is a classic. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite sitcom of all time? Let me know if you've seen Seinfeld. We're about to approach the diner.
We went that weekend.
Daryl says, Mad About You is also a great sitcom. You know, I've barely seen Mad About You. Don't know too much about it. I wish I did. Well, when Tanabe says Seinfeld changed culture. Friends feels like a show written about New Yorkers from a non-New Yorker point of view. Yes, Jer. As opposed to Seinfeld. Seinfeld truly feels New York. Might not have been fully shot in New York. It's they use a lot of sets. But you do get a sense of New York. And here we're approaching the iconic diner from Seinfeld. In the show, Seinfeld is known as Monk's Cafe. The real name of this diner is Tom's. And it's the same sign, same red neon sign on the blue black backdrop that you see on the show. And on the show, they did something clever. So they weren't going to call it Tom's. I think they didn't want to maybe pay the diner too much, or they wanted to have their own identity. The thing is, they couldn't show the full sign. So every time you see the show, they kind of frame Tom's out of it. So it's kind of framed this way. It's even hard to do it with my camera. I have to be in a different position. But they always frame Tom's out of the shot. So you don't see Tom's. You see the apostrophe S, and that's why they call him monks. So you see the apostrophe S sometimes in the corner, but you never see T-O-M. And here it is, wow. Oh, it's so cool actually being here in person. You know, I've obviously, as a New Yorker, been here many times. I love the church that's right down there, Cathedral St. John the Divine. But I've been a huge fan of Seinfeld the past year. The first time I saw it was last year on Netflix. It's available here in America. And oh my, it feels really special coming here. It's so cool. Yeah, they have the names of the characters. Jerry, George, Kramer somewhere in there, and they have Elaine. Wow. So cool. Is the inside the same as the show? So no, Renee. Let's take a peek in the inside. So here, so the inside, we see the interior. People eating here, so I'm not gonna linger too much, but the interior is not the same. The interior is shot in a set. And I think they shot the show in LA, if I'm correct. But yeah, the interior is a set. The exterior is real. The first episode, I think the first few episodes, season 1, they had a set different interior from the rest of the season. The first season had an interior that matched more this one, but was still not exactly the same. And then they went to another diner, very few times in the show, that was nearby. And that second diner in the show appears maybe 8, 9 episodes, maybe more, 10, 12 episodes out of the 9 seasons. It looks more similar to this interior because there's more wooden paneling in that second diner that they sometimes visit. Is the food any good? I had an Eggs Benedict and the egg was hard. I was really disappointed when I had the food. And I mentioned that in the video. People got pissed off. It was like, guys, if you can't make an Eggs Benedict well, you know, it's not gonna be the best. But I would say don't come here necessarily for the food. It'll be good enough. But there are better diners out here in New York City. But this one is just legendary. I would still come nonetheless. Just due to they have a lot of Seinfeld references. They have the painting of Kramer right in here. Yeah. They have a lot of Seinfeld memorabilia. They have a show called Seinfeld. It seems like it's playing nearby. And here's the menu. They don't have a big salad. I wish they would have the menu making references to the actual show. So in the show, Elaine is a huge fan of the big salad. It's just like a gigantic, obscenely huge salad bowl. But of course, they have the favorites of some of the characters. You'll have a tuna melt. There's the turkey club. Of course, coffee. So you can have some of the same meals that the characters had. Do they have the big salad? Let me see. I don't think they do. No, they don't have a big salad. I'm surprised they never made a big salad, but they have something called Jerry's salad. So there we go, the legendary home of Seinfeld. Great show. Started, I think the first season was 1987 or 89. Let me know when the first season started again. They ran for 9 seasons. In the first like 4 seasons, until about halfway of season 4, it really had not the best ratings. And it survived just by a small margin. The show was close to cancellation many times throughout its first 4 seasons. But there was one specific episode in season 4 where it's called The Contest. And it's about the characters basically competing on who could last longer without doing the deed to themselves, if you know what I mean. Who is the master of their own domain. You know, on my live videos, I masticate on camera. Well, they were talking about the other thing. And this episode became a gigantic hit. And that really skyrocketed Seinfeld to top sitcoms of that time in the 1990s. And then as season 4 and season 5 went on, it became the top sitcom. To the point where by the final episode in season 9, it was one of the most watched shows on television. It was a huge event. There's news reports that you can see online on YouTube where they show a massive crowd gathering in Times Square to see the final episode that was actually aired in one of the TVs in Times Square. It was that big of a deal. So I think if you are American and grew up in the 1990s, you probably knew of Seinfeld, probably watched Seinfeld. It was probably in the common cultural lexicon, a lot of the references and jokes in Seinfeld. And I think it's just a great show. It was made by Jerry Seinfeld and his friend, who later on became the co-writer and co-creator of the show, Larry David, who ended up becoming famous for Curb Your Enthusiasm. They made the show together because Jerry was approached by NBC to do a show. Jerry had no idea what show to do, and he was walking around with Larry David further downtown, and Larry jokes around, let's just do a show about this. And they were wondering, Jerry was like, what? About what? It's like this. You and I just talking. And that's what they pitched. They pitched a show about just 2 dudes and another friend of theirs who's very eccentric, at first called Kessler and then later turned into Kramer, just going about their daily lives, having funny situations happen to them. And then they added Elaine by the second and third episode of season 1, and it became a gigantic hit. So it's great. Rebecca says that is a great impression. Like this. Larry David is amazing. But yeah, it was great. I was a kid during the height of the popularity. Yeah, you know, I was a kid in the 1990s, very young, so I didn't get into Seinfeld. Seinfeld is not easy to get into it, I think, as a kid. But I think once you're an adult, especially if you grew up in New York City or a big city, the humor really resonates. There's a lot of situations in Seinfeld that I have personally experienced in real life. And it is so hilarious how the show is accurate to common experiences that happen in everyday life. Like waiting a long time at a Chinese restaurant, or a female friend having a very odd boyfriend. There's so many of these situations explored in the show that are just so relevant to everyday life. And I think every episode was so tightly written that there was not a boring moment, not a sappy moment, not a overbearing emotional moment in the series. And some people say that is to its detriment, that the show didn't really go deep into the characters, and I beg to differ. I think the show, by it not going into the sappiness and going into the interpersonal dramas, like a show like Friends did, and like a show How I Met Your Mother end up doing, especially in latter seasons. By not doing that, they end up making something that is rewatchable over and over again. You can see an episode on its own and still laugh to it. You don't need to know any context. I think that's the beauty of the show. Costi says you need a little bit more life experience to get it. Wendy says I watch Friends alone. Friends is a great show, yeah. Wendy, thank you so much for tuning in. The Real Soup Kitchen is great. Yeah, there's a lot. So let me know, would you guys be interested in seeing a real life Seinfeld tour on a video? Many of the locations, there's a lot of places in the show that still exist today, or that look very similar as they used to in the show, like the Soup Kitchen, which is the soup. I can't say the second word because I might get demonetized. There is the New York Sports Club where Jerry and Elaine go to the gym. George also goes to the gym there. There's a lot of other places. I gotta think about them. But as I was watching the show again, I was thinking to myself, wow, I haven't seen a really good comprehensive video tour that covers all the places in the show and then covers the history of the show. Because there's a few vlogs, but they're not the best in my opinion. But I think a great like mini documentary or a little like a vlog series of hopping around between all the places might be really, really worth it. So let me know if you'd like to see that. I'm gonna end the show right here. Highly recommend watching Seinfeld if you haven't seen it yet. Heading here brings joy to my heart being in front of here after watching the series. I can see why so many millions of people in the 1990s fell in love with this show. And it's truly one of the timeless pieces of media, I think, that will last for a very, very long time. Like some of the greatest works in media before then last a long time. Seinfeld will be one of those, I think. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye. I can't do the Seinfeld ending thing is a bit hard to do. Bye bye everyone.